What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musty Gamer, and today I'm back with another episode of account coaching series, but a bit of special episode of account coaching series. That is an account update of our friend Kevin. Now, for those of you who are tuning into my live stream, who are actually watching my videos, know Kevin. Kevin is actually a very strong Siege player here at 2939. He also is a very active member of my community, and he's a good friend of mine. As far as what I can tell, I mean, I don't know how he feels about me, but then again, as far as how it goes for me, he's a good friend of mine here at 2939 that I play along with as well. But he was also the spotlight person of episode 3 of account coding series, and he has actually reached out to me with some of the updates he have made to his account that was just absolutely mind-blowing at the end of the day. So today I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at what he has sent me in terms of what he has currently, and also at the same time we're gonna take some time to compare this to what I have suggested as well as what he had 4 months ago, because it's been only 4 months since I actually done his account coaching series, and I gotta tell you, he has gained almost 2 billion kill points, 1.4 billion kill points, but just very, very good kill points. He went from 2.1 billion kill points to 3.5 billion kill points, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, without further ado, let's just first take a moment to admire what he has sent me in terms of what his commander setups look like right now. He has sent me 5 different setups, and then sixth one, I think this is just this one doesn't really have equipment, so just don't worry about it. He has sent me his 5 March lineup. Let's just take it from the top. Now his Bai Chu is looking absolutely good. He has Iconic 4 Talented, Gold Helm of the Eternal Empire here. Now this is really, really powerful now, especially given the fact that nowadays you don't really need to get the KvK weapon and helmet. You can actually get 4-piece setup for infantry so that you can get the March speed, and just use Hope Cloak and Eternal Knight. So yeah, this is a really, really good set. He has Iconic Force for that 1.5% all damage on the map, which is absolutely good. And also at the same time, that is a really good piece just in general nowadays. Now he does also have Eternal Knight at Iconic 4 Talented, which is awesome. And then also Credit, Hope Cloak, and Iconic 2 Weapon. And the set piece bonuses, Iconic 4 set boosts, and the regular set boosts. And also at the same time, Greatest Glory, which is kind of interesting because I don't remember suggesting Greatest Glory for him at this moment. But then again, this is a great piece of equipment, especially if you're running Pincer at the end of the day, Pincer or Arch. And Bai Chu is a commander that would benefit a lot from Greatest Glory. If you're one of those people who actually likes to get benefits more so in average, like more consistent average, benefits from normal damage buff from Greatest Glory, this actually could be better for people who doesn't like to gamble with their damage output with Ring, where if you don't proc your Ring in your active skill damage turn, then Ring kind of does lose its power a lot. And he's sitting on his War Drums, which is also an amazing piece of equipment at the end of the day. Right, and just in general, great gear at the end of the day. And let's take a look at his pincer formation. Now, this is a huge upgrade from what he had before. He's currently sitting on Toppler and Raider at the same time. Also, he has Brutal for that 3.5% attack, Spike for that additional 3.5% attack, and then 3.5% health from Hardy. Just in general, very, very solid pincer set, especially with the fact that nowadays attack has been very, very valued. Attack has gained a lot more value as a stat than other stats like defense and health at the end of the day. So yeah, this is a very good set, and this is a big improvement, and I'll show you in a bit how that actually improved from what he had before. But then again, yeah, having Pincer is awesome, having Toppler is awesome, having Raider is awesome. Just overall, very, very solid infantry march that he has. Now let's go ahead and move on to the second march that he has, which is gonna be Qin Shi Huang. Now he did say that he does have Qin Shi Huang at 5554, But then again, he's going to actually max wheel spin the next one so that he can actually get him to 5555, which is a great plan. Now I think is a time for him because he has two different cavalry marches. I think right now is a time for him to save up some of the gold tests so that he can save up for the next cavalry release. So having Qin Shi Huang wait for the next wheel is fine. Also, I think by the time that he has 5555 or expertise Qin Shi Huang, I think that's when we would actually start fighting against the next kingdom, next KvK Zone 5 fight. So I think that is absolutely great plan in my opinion. Now, this has gone through some improvements. I think he had an epic helmet. Now that we won the KvK, I think he gave Qin Shi Huang the KvK helmet, which is awesome. Now, he already had the leadership pants and boots crafted, so he's not really using Dragon Breath 4-piece setup at this very moment. But then again, having 2-2-2 setup is really, really good either way. It doesn't do as much damage because of the fact that you're missing that 3% skill damage buff, but overall stat-wise, I think the quality of the stats are much better at the end of the day. Now, he does run Call of the Royal, which is completely fine, and actually something that I run too on my Qin Shi Huang March, along with Ring of Doom, just because of the fact that Qin Shi Huang doesn't really benefit as much as they do, or he does on... Let me go ahead and move my my icon a little bit so that you can actually see what I'm showing you on this icon side. Yeah, accessory side. There you go. Let me make it a little bit smaller. But yeah, so having Ring of Doom is awesome here because, again, at the end of the day, Qin Shi Huang just cares about doing a lot of damage. He doesn't really need as much rage generation, whereas he does just rage consumption as kind of main driver for his DPS, whereas other people is just rage generation. So having ring and flag is actually awesome. I wouldn't even touch this at this point for now unless you're willing to actually go into, like, you know, rallying garrison, which I don't think he is. But yeah, this is a very, very awesome solid set that he has already right there. And look at that wedge formation. Very, very good wedge formation. Having Hunter on here is awesome. Having balance here is decent. I think his stats are really awesome. I think he had balance before he actually, like, you know, heard about the fact that balance doesn't really impact Qin Shi Huang as much. But I think in general, Qin Shi Huang can still benefit somewhat from the balance. So I think this is really good. And also at the same time, having Fearsome on top of 2% all damage. Wow, okay, so this is a very strong armament. Having that 3% extra damage from Fearsome and 2% all damage is really, really good. And also at the same time, having Infamy here. So this is actually much better than what you might think, because nowadays archers actually benefit more from attack than defense. With the new KvK technology, so having 3.5% attack on top of 2.1% attack, whereas having the defense switched out with march speed actually is really good. So overall, very solid archer set. That is march number 2 for him and looks rock solid at the end of the day. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his third kid, which is going to be our Huo. Now Huo Chubing, I think he had this setup already kind of crafted. So in terms of equipment, he didn't really have anything changed, but just looking very solid, very, very good setup that he can use for the field. I think he had the horn also critted as well. We'll go ahead and take a look at it in a second. But I don't think there was too much change from the equipment, just the best set that you can possibly get for cavalry. And then also at the same time, he does have a very strong wedge formation. I think this actually gone through a lot of improvement from last time I saw it. As far as what I can remember, he has Hunter on his first slot, which is good. I think he got it from the fact that we gave him 2939 has given him autark. I think a lot of his accounts got autark. Some of his farms who are very, very strong siege account as well. So I think he used one of those on Hunter or maybe on something else. Doesn't matter. Hunter is really, really good at the end of the day. And then he has Fit and Spiked here, which means that his cavalry attack and cavalry health is going to be buffed by another 7% total, which is absolutely good. that means that he's sitting on 33%, 33.8% of stats overall, which is really, really good as well. And he's currently sitting on 2.6% extra March speed too, which is awesome as well. And then cohesive, whenever the wielder's troop deals 2% extra damage when it has over 50% of units remaining, which is awesome. And then boiling blood and focus fire, all in all, is a very good armament setup that he has currently. But this one is actually really good. This is double inscription with boiling blood and fit, which is awesome. He can always inscribe legendary inscription here, so that's no problem for him. Like balance at the end of the day. Very, very good setup that he has here for his third march, which is cavalry, which is going to be Ho Chubing. Now let's take a look at his fourth march. Oh, I actually skipped his Gazamata, but then again, let's just take a look at that last because he has some crazy stuff when it comes to siege march at the end of the day. But look at that, Alexander Nevsky. I think he made the most improvement here in terms of accessories that he has right now. He's still rocking on that Vanguard halberd. I think he does have the blueprint, just doesn't have the materials yet for him to craft another set of a Hellish Wasteland weapon, which is what I suggested, because then you can diversify your investment in this one and your Ho Chi Bing, whereas you can have enough blueprints for it to iconic the helmet and the weapon, as well as talent them at the end of the day. Overall, very strong work in progress set that he has currently at this moment. And then let's just go ahead and take a look at his wedge formation. Nothing too crazy, but then again, having that craze in there is good. Having guarded is okay. And then also assertive will give you 2% more all damage while on the map, which is good. 3.5% defense is also awesome. For cavalry, this is almost as good as having 3.5% health. So that is absolutely amazing, and having enduring for that 3% extra counterattack damage is really good. He does have a damage to barbarians here, but it's not an urgent thing. I think this is his fourth. This is the worst march that he has on his setup, so he can work on it once he actually finish completing and perfecting the other four marches, including the siege at the end of the day. So yeah, that is march number 4 with our Nevsky right here. And then let's just take a look at his march number 5, which is gonna be Gazamata. Now, expertise Gazamata, and look at what he has here. Now, he has the full Twilight set. I think this is called Twilight. No, this is not called Twilight. Lupin Bestman set, which is the range set that he has, and that is absolutely crazy that he has a full set. You can see that he doesn't really have any of them critted, but then again, if you look at the total amount of stats that he gains that is what, like 88.5%, 93% on top of having range smite damage buff. That is just absolutely busted right there, that he has a full engineering set, and also at the same time having Horn of Fury does an awesome job of buffing up that march at the end of the day. And also he does have this D-Lines amulet, which is awesome for siege march, especially because if you can actually secure your siege march position and then actually do a lot of damage, you will just generally take 6.5% less damage, period. And that I would take 6.5% less damage taken than, let's say, 6.5% damage dealt all day, because the counterattack damage is the only type of damage that your march takes as a siege march, right? So if you're not targeted by anything, and even if you do get close to Gazamata and Gonzalo, which is what he used with, I mean, like, Gazamata and Gonzalo does is really, really tanky, and it does a lot of normal damage. So I think whatever he has here is really, really good setup. Either way, very solid engineering march at the end of the day. And look at what he has here. Now he has V formation with Warcry, which is going to give you that 3.5% attack, Vitality for that 3.5% health, and Ballistics will give you 3% more normal damage more damage. Oh, okay. So 3% more damage while in the range formation, which is going to be awesome. This is just basically like 3% all damage buff, right? And then line shot is going to give you that 5% more range normal damage, which is awesome, right? So although it does look like it doesn't have that much buff here, he already has 8% of normal damage that this basically gives, right? All damage at the end of the day. And then Bloody Bolt also gives you that 2% extra normal damage. So that is 10% that he gains from just inscriptions alone. And then while in range mode, their troop deals 5% more range normal damage to enemies with less than 50% remaining. Okay, so it ranges from 10 to 15%, but depending on what kind of targets that you're actually hitting. So absolutely crazy stuff that he has right here. And then retaliation is okay. He does more counterattack damage. It will be better if he has something that would give him less counterattack damage taken, but this is actually still good. It's better to have it. I'm sure it's part of it's part of this double inscription that he has. Me and Kevin also talked about maybe perhaps replacing this with special inscription, given that special inscription for free formation is actually better than destructive. But I think whatever he has is probably as good, if not just slightly worse than the special inscription, even if the special inscription is really, really good. So absolutely crazy stuff. And then Lion Shot, all he needs to do is just reroll that health into something like Siege Health, which is awesome that he has right now. So he has a very, very solid lineup. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the PowerPoint that I prepared for you to compare what I've suggested, what he had before, what he has now, and then kind of how that compares and what he can do from here onward moving forward. Now, this is his old account's governor profile that I actually got from the PowerPoint that I used to make the episode 3 of account coaching series. And look at that. He is sitting on 78.8 million power, which is basically how much he has right now, but he was sitting on 2.1 billion kill points. But within 2 KvKs, and just granted, actually, let's just go ahead and take a look at this slide too. And again, this is only 4 months ago that he actually requested me to take a look at his account when I migrated to 2939. And he was like, yeah, hey, like, can you take a look at my account? I was like, sure thing, dude. And then this was the very beginning of my account coaching series days. Now, and yeah, and it's been only 2 KvKs since then. And granted that the last 2 KvKs weren't really the best KvKs for you to gain farms and gain kill points, right? My last KvK, our enemy didn't even fight until Kingsland. We had a pretty strong fight in Kingsland, but then again, anything before that in Zone 5, we destroyed them earlier on so much that they just hid in the KvK, hid in the Zone 4 and then just never came out of it. And then the KvK before that, we were one-sidedly getting destroyed. So the fact that he gained so much KP from the last 2 KvK just speaks a lot about how much he improved. Now you can see that he has gained 1.4 billion kill points almost. He has only gone down a little bit in power, but then again, just absolutely crazy. He has gained that autark. He has also won a lot of Arc of Osiris League. So yeah, very, very significant improvement just within the 4 months of this account's life, right? Like, I mean, looking at his governor ID, he probably played the game for 2 years or 2 years and a half by the time that he actually reached out to me, because my governor ID starts with 130 now, so he's only a little bit younger than my account. But like, look how much he just gained within the last 4 months. That is just absolutely crazy, in my opinion. And this is the current lineup he currently uses on his Sunset Canyon. I'm assuming this is what he used for the field fighting as well, which is Bai Chu Luce, Nevsky, William first. I keep mistaking both of those guys, but anyways, Qin Shi Huang YSG, and Ho Chubing Arthur, and Gazamata with Gonzalo. Absolutely crazy lineup here. I wouldn't take out any of those guys for anything. If I think if I can suggest like one tiny adjustment is just having Joan of Arc Prime here, but he did explained to me in a later slide that, oh, he's still kind of seeing what kind of next commander is going to look like, which I think is a better move at this very moment. Just look at him. His lineup looks absolutely crazy good at the end of the day. And it is a big improvement as far as what I can remember from what he had before, so that's amazing too. Now, in terms of his whole trooping equipment, he just basically crafted a ring. I actually thought he already had the ring crafted, but it didn't. So I did actually suggest that everyone gets a horn if possible, and then give each of them a ring. So he did actually take this one, the March Speed flag out, and then actually gave him a ring. Awesome stuff. That means that he has everything kind of completed at the end of the day for his whole shipping, which is very good. Now, there was a huge uplift and improvement from the wedge formation that he had. You can see that he already still is using the boiling blood and focus fire, but then again, he basically re-rolled everything, all those weird stats out, and then inscribed the hunter from the autarch, I'm assuming, from the KvK. So he's sitting on a very solid set right now. I mean, yeah, there's really nothing much to it other than the fact that this is really strong improvement from what he had before to what he has now. He's gained about 0.3% attack. He's gained about 3% defense, and then about, I think, 2% of cavalry health, and also another special inscription. Absolutely great stuff. Period. Now, his second cavalry is where he made the most amount of improvements on in terms of equipment. Now, he actually did convert the chest piece to the Hellish Wasteland chest piece, which is awesome. He did actually get rid of all of those epic accessories, which I did suggest as his number one priority, and then gave him the horn, which is awesome. And he gave him a dagger. I don't know if he had the dagger before or not, but he did say that he planned on dismantling the dagger eventually, so which is fine. I think this is okay. Very big improvement either way. Now, when we look at his wedge formation, this is also a big improvement in my opinion, whereas he's gained a bit of stats in terms of the 3.1% attack, and he did lose 0.9% of defense, but then again gained another 0.5% of health. And he gained rare inscription, which is Craze, which is a very strong rare inscription for the first slot, in my opinion, if you don't have Hunter. So all in all, very solid improvement. You can see that he has probably rerolled that 4.5% attack into the 3.1% that he has now, or he has used different armaments at the end of the day. Decent improvement in terms of his second cavalry at the end of the day, in my opinion. Now, this is his Archer March. Now, before he was actually using Zhuge Liang, whereas he was using the flag and the ring. And he was not using the KvK helmet before, but then again, he was also using KvK weapon, which is good. All he did from Zhuge Liang one that he had before to now Qin Shi Huang's one is actually having his KvK helmet crafted, which is, I think, really good. Really strong improvement at the end of the day. And the fact that he didn't actually craft a horn like I suggested is also amazing stuff, because Qin Shi Huang at the end of the day doesn't really need horn, like I said before. Instead, keeping that flag on is going to be more helpful, and then also having the ring is just absolutely gorgeous. This is what I run almost, with the exception of the fact that I do use Dragon Breath helmet and weapon. And he had the leadership pants and boots already crafted, so 222 set is really good either way. Now, he did make some improvements on the wedge formation as well. His setup was already good, but then again, he actually inscribed Hunter here, and also at the same time, it looks like he did reroll that attack into a higher attack, and he did gain a lot of health. It looks like he gained about 0.9% health, which may not look like a lot, but it is a lot. And then having that special inscription so that he has both balance and hunter is really good. Now, granted that balance does not work on Qin Shi Huang at 100% of the time, but it is still better than, I think, not having them at the end of the day. So I think whatever he has is awesome stuff at the end. Now, his Gazamata only actually got the chess piece complete so that he does have the full siege formation set up. And that's pretty much it in terms of equipment that he has. In terms of the armaments, I think he did gain a little bit of attack. He gained a lot of defense. He gained about 1.8% attack, and then 3.4% defense. Wow, okay, that's good. He did reroll a lot of stats, it looks like. And then he did lose a lot of health, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, overall, I think this is he did gain, I think, net positive damage output in my opinion because of that almost 3% attack and defense gain from his set. Although he did lose a lot of health, so this is really good. And yeah, that's basically what he had. He didn't really need that much improvement from armaments. Oh, and also it looks like he's no longer using that shielded, which is not really that useful for siege march. But then again, line shot. If you guys remember correctly, like the line shot did give you a lot of all damage buff. So I think that's what he actually changed so that he has less health. Because this armor that he has, line shot would probably have less health. But then again, line shot is just absolutely crazy in terms of the damage output. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it again. Yeah. Yeah, the line shot just gives you 5% more normal range, normal damage taken. That's basically all damage. 5% all damage for Gazamata and Gonzalo, and then yeah, that's just definitely worth it for his improvement for his gear at the end, armament at the end of the day. So overall, very strong improvement, I would say, from what he had before. Now, his infantry is the most interesting because he actually did not improve too much from it. He just basically crafted Greatest Glory. I'm assuming he didn't really have that much blueprints left. But yeah, for the horn. Yeah, and this is where the you can see that this is where the dagger actually came from, which is fine. Now he has Greatest Glory and Drum, which is all amazing, amazing stuff on Bai Chi. And yeah, looks very, very solid. Having accessory improvements nowadays is probably where you'll be able to see the most amount of damage output growth at the end of the day. So having seen those accessory growth is just amazing to see at the end of the day. Now, he was running Hunter, Fit, Wary, Focus Fire with some decent stats with decent march speed, but then again, not too much noticeable, like a good armament setup. He did have defense that he could roll out for his defense setup, but then again, he does now have Toppler and Raider. I'm assuming he didn't transfer over the Focus Fire, which he can eventually. But then again, I don't know if that's something that he has in mind. But then again, yeah, whatever he has here is really good already. Big improvement, I would say. Fit will give you 3.5% health. Hardy will also give you 3.5% health. And then Spike will give you that 3.5% attack. So overall, this is way over 30%, the total amount of stats that he gets from this. And also at the same time, Toppler and Raider is really, really important for having Pincer if you can't have Demolisher here. So having all of that set up and the fact that it is Pincer is just a big improvement for his infantry march, in my opinion. And he does have Arthur expertise. He's currently using him behind Ho, as you guys saw from the earlier screenshots. And he's working on Delta formation right now. Yeah, I think it's fine if he wants to work on Delta already. I think he's getting just prepared for the next cavalry release, which is very, very good move in my opinion. And while he's doing that, he can basically get all the mileages set up so that once the new cavalry releases, maybe he can actually get that butterfly effect from instrument at the end of the day. Who knows what he can actually hit? So awesome, awesome stuff that he has here. 12.1% defense is just absolutely amazing. And on top of, I think, Well Clad and Metallics both give him another 7% of defense, which is awesome, man. This is just a lot of defense. And again, like I said, cavalry defense does rock a lot, so really good stuff. He's missing some attack, which he can eventually reroll that archer attack. He's missing some health, but then again, I'm assuming that that is from the fact that he has 1.6% all damage, and also he does have robust, which means that once he has to add that 3.5% health in, it's going to be 9.2%, which is more than enough for his setup right now. So good stuff. He doesn't have equipment on this Arthur, so it doesn't really need to be actually shown. So that's why I kind of hit it with the armament setup at the end of the day. But just wanted to let you guys know that he is working on a Delta setup. Again, this is his current lineup: Bai Chu, Liu Che, Nevsky, William the First, Chen Xihuang, YSG, Ho, Arthur, Gazamata, and Gonzalo. Great stuff. He almost beat my defense, which is really good. Now, here's what he had before in a nutshell. I already showed you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it. Here's what I suggested. Now, I did suggest him that make sure you craft horn for every single one of them. And this was before I actually knew that Qin Shi Huang was going to come into the game where he doesn't really need horn, which is good. Then we only need 4 horns at the end of the day. And then I was like, hey, maybe after you get everyone a horn, maybe you should work on getting the chess piece for this. This is why the number 3 is here with a question mark. And then try to give everyone a drum. And then finish everything else. It looks like he was able to make most of these happen with more flexibility, I must say. Again, Chen Xinhuang doesn't really need that horn, so he does have 1, 2, 3 horns right now. I think he's looking to craft another drum so that when that happens, this is going to be replaced. And having Gray's Glory is a very good substitute for his pincer march at the end of the day. But if he does want to, maybe he can actually move that drum over to this guy right here and then give him a horn. Is what I'll suggest. But I think at this point, either way works. They all look really good to me at the end of the day. So very solid stuff. My plans are to dismantle the dagger when I have a second war drum. I have 108 gold heads, and Qin Shi Huang is still 5554, which is good. Waiting to spin on the wheel more before the next pass 4 opening, which is awesome plan. He has about 1,000 days of speed up, which is way more than what I have. Like I have like 200 days of speed ups, to be really honest with you. And yeah, he has a lot of speed ups just because of the fact that he does chain barbs a lot. I'm also sitting very well on blueprints, which is awesome. That means I'm assuming that means that he already has the cavalry weapon kind of good to go. He just needs the materials at the end of the day, and then he probably has another drum kind of set up to be crafted somewhere. So which is all really good. And Joan is 5335, which is awesome. That means that he doesn't really need to invest too much in Joan. He can just make 5515 when he can. And that's going to only cost him, 150 gold heads at the end of the day, which is good if he does use Joan. I mean, when the next cavalry release, maybe the Joan wouldn't be a meta so much, so that's really up to him. And having Philip 5511 slowly building that up is also really good. So for potential cap pairing, that is absolutely great. That means that he is already ahead in terms of building the next march for cavalry, while also considering the fact that he can also always use 5 march with siege in there. I think he's in a really good spot at the end of the day. Again, the only suggestion that I have for your account, Kevin, at the end of the day is just having that maybe horn crafted instead of drum, so that you can give this guy a horn right here, and then move this drum over here so that you don't have to waste too much blueprints while you're already thinking about dismantling the dagger. So that's what I would suggest. But outside of that, man, awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Kevin, for just reaching out to me and letting me know how much progress that you have made. And just it's just evident of how much evident from the fact that he gained so much kill points within the last 4 months. Although like his account is probably like 2-3 years old at this point too. Like you can probably tell like how much he has gained power. And I'm not gonna credit myself with everything that he's done. Like I just provide suggestions on how he can make his improvements with his gear and setup, and all what he should like look after in terms of his commander setup and whatnot. And he did ask me along the way sometimes here and there, but then again, just in general, this is all Kevin. This is not me. None of this is me. I just provided little guidance that I could. And I don't even know if they helped or not. Like, look at this Chi Wang situation where I suggested him to build a horn for him, and now he doesn't have to, and he adjusted to it. So, awesome job, Kevin. I really appreciate you actually giving me some updates on your account, man. And like me and Kevin are gonna stay in the same kingdom, 2939, as far as what I know for now, and we're gonna play together, really have fun time. And if you guys want your own version of account coaching series like this one, or the one that Kevin did 4 months ago, please feel free to let me know from the comment down below, or join the Discord and then reach out to me throughout the direct message. Then I'll be able to provide you your own guidance for this. But I can't guarantee you'll be as successful as Kevin was at the end of the day. But he has awesome stuff. He's a very smart person. I can already tell, and he has gained so much from the last couple KvK. I'm very glad that I was able to be part of his journey to gain that much kill point and do so well on the field. Now, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And now, as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.